A man named Benjamin Franklin once said that one should either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. My name is Abigail Lamont, and I chose to speak about Benjamin Franklin. So in this, I hope to tell you about his life, his accomplishments, and how he was able to achieve those accomplishments. So it begins in Boston in 1706 when Benjamin Franklin was born. His family was the size of 17, and he was the 15th child in that range. As a child, he aspired to be a minister, but he soon found his love for reading and writing, and he then picked up an apprenticeship with his brother. But after having many arguments with him and not getting along, he decided to go to England for 18 months and do an apprenticeship there with another printer. After those 18 months were up, he decided to come back home to America. He took over the Pennsylvania Gazette and took it from being almost nothing to a very successful newspaper. While being home, he married a woman named Deborah Reed, and they had 2 children. Also, in the 1730s, he became a postmaster, and he invented his first invention, the Franklin stove. Then, in the 1940s, he picked up and started many public works, including street sweeping. After that, in the 1748, he began researching lightning for the first time. So he, in his scientific experiments and research, he was able to achieve getting degrees from not only Harvard but Yale as well. And he then, in 1754, became the first postmaster general. So then, after he became that, he started up a bunch of fundraisers for the war against England. He was able to get support from France, which was critical in the war and how it turned out for America. Because of him, we were able to use that support and end up winning the war. He also was one of the writers of the Declaration of Independence. If you look at it, you'll see his signature at the bottom. And after that, he helped found the University of Pennsylvania. And then in 1790, he died in April. Having done all this in his life, he also invented the lightning rod, bifocals, the first flexible catheter, and many more things. He was very varied in his inventions. He says that well done is better than well said. So Dr. Douglas Anderson of the University of Georgia says that Franklin considered it the ultimate importance to own what one does. So throughout Franklin's life and in his autobiography, you can see him owning up to not only his achievements and successes, but his mistakes and shortcomings as well. He wasn't afraid to let people know about the mistakes that made him into what he was. Those mistakes helped him achieve his goals. Anderson also said that he lacked organization, but strove for moral perfection using the virtue of order. So he overcame his inability of organization and was able to still succeed through his mistakes. Furthermore, Franklin says that words may show a man's wit, but action is meaning. So Dr. Dana Medora of the University of Manitoba said that Franklin had virtually tried his hand in every intellectual pursuit, from science and music to politics and philosophy. He covered most of everything. He strove to be a self-made man and free from tyranny, which he wasn't going to let people determine the outcome of his own destiny. He was going to put himself together and make himself into what he wanted to be. His philosophy of character is that it should be made and then broken down and then remade. So he's saying that you should continue to change and form your own character as you go through and experience life's experiences. So Franklin also said that motion should not be confused with action. So just because you're busy does not mean you're doing something useful or worthwhile. He was very determined in doing things on time and getting things done and doing things that mattered, and he ran away as Dr. Philip Santa Maria of Buffalo State says, he ran away from passion and instead ran towards intellect. He chose reason and repressed pleasure. So, in conclusion, we can see that the inventions and accomplishments that Franklin was able to do came from his hard work. He believed that his hard work would lead to his success. He said that you should never leave that till tomorrow which you can do today. With this motto, he was able to make all of his achievements and even do this through his mistakes and personal setbacks. So even though he went through a lot of failed experiments, failed research, he was able to put it together and make it into something successful, such as his invention of the lightning rod. It took many years and studies to finally get to it. So having said all this, I hope that you have learned more about Franklin that you didn't already know and that I didn't bore you completely. Thank you for your attention, and I am very excited to hear all of your presentations.